Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Energies, up, Big Cat. I insist. It's me, darling dears. I've hidden my hair. It's still me. Okay. As you already know, I'm still traveling. So therefore, oh gosh, let me get my fan, just a second. Had to get the fan, darling dears, had to get the fan. I go nowhere without it. Because 1 minute you're okay, and the next thing you know, you're right in Hades. Okay. As I've already told you, darling dears, you know I'm traveling. This is not my normal setting, right? And the reason why I chose this journey in particular is according to my Astrocartography chart. It shows you where exactly in the world you will have peace, sun energy, Venus energy, Jupiter energy to activate your luck. I chose this destination because it was going to activate my Pluto, my Neptune, and my Mars. Yes, Venus is here, but Venus is coming across as overcompensating, being too much, darling dears. There's a lot of unexpected shifts and things like that, and this was very important for me. The reason why, as I said, the reason why I chose to come here was because my Mars, my Pluto, and my Neptune lines, as well as Venus, but Venus was going to be in a kind of drag you kind of a way, okay? And you're thinking, but Keith, why would you choose something like that? Okay, let me tell you the real. The reason why I chose to come here was because I was going to face all of the karma that was going to be assigned to me for the next 19 years. Remember, Pluto is in Aquarius. According to my sun sign, it's in the 10th house, and according to my rising sign, it's in the 2nd house. Okay, so I came here to deal with the karma now, so that it doesn't drag over 19 years. And trust and believe, it wasn't fabulous, it wasn't gorgeous, and it wasn't lovely, because I had to stop in Miami. I'm not telling you exactly where I am until I leave, but I had to stop in. May God never take me through Miami airport again, blood. In the name of the Most High. I wish Miami airport on no one. All right. So the plane landed in Miami, darling dears. Then they said that I would have to be leaving from gate 24. So went to gate 24, sitting down, minding my own business. Next thing you know, they announced that it's not at 24 anymore. It's going to be at gate 50. Listen, I had my strap on, darling dears. This is my strap on to keep my knee right, okay? So I had to rush over to gate 50. Yeah, over to gate 51. Okay, I had to leave from 24 and go to gate 51. I'm there sitting at gate 51 thinking my plane's coming. Oh no, it was delayed for over an hour. So when I saw the hour nearly coming, a young man came on the mic and he said, your flight has been moved to gate 47. I was like, what? After all these I wish Miami Airport on no one. So went to 47 now, and something told me to check my phone. When I looked on my phone, it said that my flight was leaving at 10:50 from gate 50. I was like, what? My plane? So I jumped up and I got a carrier bag with perfumes and aftershaves for my progenies, darling dears. I jumped up and I left the bag on the floor, right? I ran up to the desk and I said to the gentleman that it says on my phone that I'm supposed to be on this flight at gate 50, but I've been here at 47. The man looked in my face and said, I'm going to help you. So as we was walking back towards gate 50, I realized I didn't have the plastic bag with all of my perfumes and aftershaves for myself and the progenies, darling dears. So I ran back to get the bag. Everybody saw where my bag was because I was right at the front. Nobody touched my bag. Who's gonna touch someone else's bag in the airport? Nobody touched it. Nothing was disturbed in that bag, right? So got the bag now, and then we rushed over to gate 50. The plane was still there, but the gate was closed. You know when they shut the sliding, you couldn't get on the plane. The man, he went behind the gate and he used his pass and he went down in, the tunnel that leads to the plane, and he was gone for about 5 minutes. By then, right, I started to lose my shit. Not lose my shit like go crazy. I started to get really anxious because remember, I'm in stroke recovery. I have fibromyalgia. I have osteoarthritis. As far as work is concerned, they see me as a disabled person. Listen, that's why I had to leave the job where I was at because my health failed me. Okay, so I'm getting as worried as a cat can get, right? Then the man came back out the gate and he came with another guy with him. My eyes was like, right? So I was like, what's going on here? I said it to myself. Then the guy that came with him went on the computer and started tapping away. And he goes, I can't change it to put her back on the flight. The man picked up the phone and he called this lady, this black lady that I don't know where she came from. She just appeared, right? And then she got on the computer. Remember, the plane is still there. I can see it, right? Right? So then it's like that. And the black lady did something and they changed my ticket so that because I was meant to be on this flight. This was the flight I was booked on. I was booked on this flight in 19A, which is a window seat. All right. When the lady handed me the ticket to get on this flight, I couldn't believe it, right? Because remember, the Mars is what created all of the delays, darling dears. Put me in a warlike spirit. Everybody around me was in a warlike spirit, but divine wanted me on this flight. I've got more to tell you, darling dears, but I can't tell you until I've left, okay? Anyhow, so now I'm walking down to the flight. I've got my carry-on bag, and I've got my bag with my perfumes, and most importantly, it had my chocolate in there, right? So I'm walking down to the flight, and as I got there, there was 2 stewards there, and I was about to go in the plane. The man goes, where are you seated, madam? And I told him 19A. He goes, let me go before you so I can clear the overhead cabin so you can put your bag up safely. You see how God good, right? So everybody, trust and believe, everybody's face was up at this level. Everybody watch me come down the aisle, blood. And because it's not a big plane, it's just 2-seater plane, right? You got a set of 3 here and a set of 3 there, okay? So everybody's looking in my face, right? And then he goes, and your seat is 19A. So the man sitting in the seat at the end, he's at 19C. He had to get up to give me space to go in there, right? The man was proper vexed. He was so vexed, right? And that plane did not leave me in Miami airport, in the name of the Most High. But there's more to the story. But I'm going to, because remember, I came here to activate my Pluto, my Mars, my Neptune, darling dears, because I wanted to get rid of the karma that would have been following me for 19 years. Because you remember, Pluto is about breaking everything down. So everything got broken down, and it's about to be revealed once my foot steps back in the UK. This is why I tell you, darling dears, your chart, your birth natal chart is so important, right? Your astrocartography chart is so important. It will show you where places are fated for you to go, right? For love, for war, whatever. Jupiter for finances, this and that is all activated within your chart. Once you marry the two together, darling dears, you will never have another terrible holiday again. I'm telling you this. And if you need help with that, hit me up, darling dears, in the Gmail at frequencyphoenix555@gmail.com. It's so important. I can't impress on you enough. I came to this place where I am right now to face all of the karma that Pluto and Mars and Neptune, because the gaslighting was real, darling dears. I've got so many things to tell you, darling dears, but I can't tell you now. You can't make me. Yeah, like I was saying, I was on the road again, and I still am on the road again. But I'm telling you, the clarity that I'm receiving at this moment in time, my dreams are off the chizayin. When I came into, I can't tell you any more, darling dears, because then I'll end up spilling all of the beans. And you know I tell no one nothing. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because you need to understand how important your charts are to you, darling dears. Extremely important. Now that I've said that, let's carry on with the read. Turn off the fan. Very important, darling dears. Along with numerology, your Chinese zodiac, find out who your enemy signs are, who you're compatible with. As I've told you previously, both of my daughters were born in enemy years of me. They are oxes. My oldest daughter was born in 1997, and my second daughter was born in 2009. I have a son. He was born on the 1st of the 1st, 2004. So that makes him monkey energy, darling dears. Boy, let me tell you something. Oi, bestie, let me tell you something. Them girls. If I wasn't the baddest of them all, darling dears, they'd run me over and then backed up. But like I said, your chart is so important. In your natal chart, it will show you if you're married more than once, if you ever will be married. It will show you how many children you've got. You can find out about your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your sisters. Everything is there. Everything. Okay? Let's carry on, darling dears. If you'd like a personal read from me, as I said, hit me up in the Gmail at frequencyphoenix555@gmail.com or one Big Cat Chronicles @gmail.com. All right. Good golly and the gosh, darling dears. You've got the energy of a 10. And I have to kind of laugh to myself. The energy of the 10 speaks about completion. All right, where is it? Oh, here it's back in line with the camera. The energy of the 10 speaks about completion, darling dears. The end of a cycle, and it's going to bring transformation into your life. The energy of the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, as well as sun energy, because the sun is a 20 and the Wheel of Fortune is a 10, darling dears. Okay. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Because I use the Pythagorean theorem, I use from 1 to 9. Okay. So we've got to break down the 10. We're going to speak about the 10 as well, right? And it goes to the energy of the 1. Let's start off with the energy of the 10, darling dears. The energy of the 10 also brings into mind, as I said, Jupiter energy. Okay. Jupiter is the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of God, darling dears. It's about your spirituality, your religion. It's about something that you're going to publish, darling dears. It's about to go viral. You could be writing a book. Something that you are using your creative skills, darling dears, that are unique to you. Jupiter is about money. It's about foreign people. It's about foreign lands, darling dears. All right. Let's press on. Let's press on. The energy of the 10th house, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Oh, let me put this down. Right? So it's definitely a 10. Look, you have a 10 here. And you have a 10 there. You are a breakthrough, darling dears. What's hidden in the middle? You've got 2 5s. Woo, child. This is not fabulous, gorgeous, or lovely. This is it, mate. It's more than fabulous, gorgeous, or lovely. It most definitely is, darling dears. When we've got 3 10s in place, darling dears, it speaks about what? Plans being upset. Is this a reading for me? I'm not reading for me. I'm reading for the cats. But your plans will be upset in some kind of a way, darling dears. All right. Let's rest this down here so that I don't forget, darling dears, as we continue with the read. Let me get my coffee. All right. Let me get my lubrication on, because I'm doing my best to teach you as much about astrology, numerology, and tarot as I'm reading, so that you can be as clued up as I am, darling dears. And you're looking at my teeth and listen. I went all the way to Turkey to get my teeth done, and I came back with what? A full-on eczema on the back of my neck. My face looked like pitchy patchy. What's going on here? Who did it, and did you call the police? Listen, and the only reason why I went to Turkey is because I don't like the guts. I wanted them filled in, and they never got filled in. I had to get the F up out of there. I got on the next thing smoking out of Turkey. Anyhow, let's press on. The energy of the 10th, darling dears, is known as the house of praxis. Okay, it's about exposure. It's about your public image, darling dears. It's about your reputation. It's about honor and respect, darling dears. It's also about money. The 10 is the medium coeli, the highest part in your chart, darling dears. It's about your fame, your relationships, darling dears. It could also be about your father relationship, or a father in your life, the relationship that you have with them, darling dears. Good golly and the gosh, darling dears. So it's about your status, your reputation, your public image, darling dears. All of this and that. Okay. All right. So somebody's definitely going through some kind of a career change or some kind of realization that's going to put them in the spotlight. So the energy of the 10 goes down to a 1. The energy of the 10 is Capricorn and Saturn energy, darling dears. The energy of the 1 is Mars and Aries energy, darling dears, the first house. And the first house is known as the helm, the beginning, darling dears. It's about you being the main character. It's about your spiritual energy. It's about your personality, darling dears. It's also about the new beginnings that you are creating. The energy of the first house is also a reminder to be careful of accidents. A maternal grandmother or a paternal grandfather, darling dears. The first house is also the first impression that people get of you when you meet them. So the first impression is the best impression, darling dears. It's also telling me that with the first house, you have protected energy at this moment in time. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. It's decaffeinated coffee. I'm not allowed to drink the other one as much as I love it. And it's not mocha, darling dears. It's not the mocha. All right. Let's press on. Let's press on. Right. Get my bearings back again, because I've been telling you so much that I forgot to tell you what I needed to tell you. All right. The energy of the 1, darling dears. You could be a life path 1, or the numbers 1, 19, 25. No, 1, 10, 19, and 28. I said 25 for a reason, darling dears. Mark that on your almanac. The energy of the 1 is sun energy, darling dears, and sun is big cat Leo energy, darling dears. The 1 rules the letters A, J, and S, and the sun rules the letters A, I, J, Q, and Y. This will be on your hemisphere over the next few days, darling dears. Your luckiest days will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The number 1 is representative of a conjunction, and we love a conjunction. Why? It creates a new beginning for you in your life, darling dears. New beginning, again, the energy of the 1. It's about how you express yourself, you utilizing your creativities. It speaks about your new level of independence. Some of you are going to be going into a leadership position. This is a job change, most definitely for some, darling dears. It tells me that you are extremely innovative. You are an individual. You stand for nothing. You stand for yourself and nothing else, darling dears. You don't like taking orders from other people, right? So you are putting yourself in the position to be the boss. Best position to be in, darling dears. Okay, let's press on. Okay, according to the 48 laws of power, the energy of the 10 is about the losers, darling dears. Stay away from bottom feeders. Why? They will drag you down, darling dears, and they will laugh into their hand as they're giving it to you without the Vaseline. I don't even have none to show you. Why? It's back in the UK. You've got to avoid the unlucky and the unhappy. Why? Because misery loves company, right? Cut off that negative energy, right? If somebody around you is always losing, darling, as I said, all they're going to do is drag you down as well. You've got to surround yourself with winners, okay? The 10 goes down to a 1. That is the first law, never outshine the master. Somebody tried to outshine you, darling dears, and it could be in work, it could be in the business field, whatever, darling dears. Someone tried to outshine you. But you see, the thing is, right, you've learned something new with this new beginning, how to make others feel important while you operate behind the scenes. You've never shown your full power up front, right? You ease it on them, right? You don't just show them what you're working with. You ease them into it, darling dears. Flatter their ego if necessary. Let them think that they have control. Yeah, this is like what? Law number 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Always act like you're dumber than you seem, darling dears. Listen. When I'm ready, listen, don't let me act like I'm dumb in front of you, darling dears. That means that I've clocked everything. And the questions that I'm asking, you're going to think, why would she be asking that? Why? Because I'm getting a fail on you, darling dears. I'm getting a fail. According to the dice, darling dears, the energy of the 1, you're going to have to make a major decision, darling dears, over the next few days. But Divine is cautioning you not to make the decision until after the next new moon. I've told you many times. Download from astroseek.com the moon cycles, darling dears, so you'll know when the next new moon is, the next full moon. Okay? But you are most definitely having to make a major decision going forward. All right. You've also got the energy of the 6 and the 4. The 6 is about your... Pardon me, that's a spiritual belch because I speaks the truth. Roof, pinkies up. That you're going to have to make a decision. You've got something to do about your health, darling. Somebody's also going to be going into volunteering, but this is going to lead you to a leadership role, okay? The energy of the 4, ancestral protection. It's about your home. It's about your land. Things you do behind closed doors, darling dears. But as again, you are being protected at this moment in time. Somebody's definitely going to be changing up their work routines. You're also looking at your health, darling dears. What you're putting in there, darling dears. We love it. We don't hate it. The energy of the 1, according to the Loshu grid, darling dears, is representative of your career, your life's mission, darling dears, as well as, again, your individuality. It's represented by water element, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And something that happened in your life during the early winter, it's unfolding now, darling dears, and it's a major life lesson for you. Okay, your power colors will be dark blue and black. Right. Look what's on top. We've got a 3 and a 1. As I said, we already discussed the 1. Okay, the 3 is the gossip. They're always talking in the background. What's the matter with them? They've got no chill or pause factor. Right? Let's get this. I'm gonna use one of these and one of the green cards. Fill out the back end. Well, whoever it is, Karma just pulled up on them, blood, in thigh-high red leather boots, blood. Hey, hey! Woo, child. Where did you come from, darling dears? People are realizing that you are what prototype of your lineage. You broke the cycle, darling dears. Whatever that cycle was for you, you broke it, right? You realize or recognize and realize, and you've got issues with your mummy. I've got an issue with my mum. I don't talk to her, and I've got nothing more to say, right? I haven't. That's a whole different story that I'm not going into right now. I don't even want to speak about it, darling dears. And somebody wants to seek revenge, darling dears, but you know your best revenge is what? That's right, bestie. It's success. They hate it. They hate it with everything. Imagine that. Well, pinkies up. Keep going, bestie. Keep going. I'm thinking that maybe you prefer this camera angle because at least you get to see half my face. Well, I'm gonna come up to the table and I've got no stand for the iPad. Anyhow, let's press on. Let's press on. So Karma just pulled up. There's mummy issues involved with it. You may even be the mummy in the situation. Someone's got an issue with you, blood. Them don't like you. Give them with the what? Give them the je ne sais quoi, quoi, quoi. Keep giving it to them, bestie. All right. Let's press on. Let's press on. Let's to the decks. To the decks. No, we're gonna get your Oracle Ancestral message. Because when they ate us, what do we do, bestie? We 9 them. We 9 them. 9 is the number of completion and manifestation mode. Something that's fated. Yeah, completion was fated, darling dears. It's a lot of cards. I'm going to take the one furthest away from me, darling dears. Good golly and gosh. This is union. Somebody will be going into union. It could be a business partnership. It could be a union, darling dears. Someone going towards marriage or an engagement. It could be you being engaged in a new job, darling dears, a new position. But this is all up and up, going towards you. Maybe you're going to have to end up joining a union. Remember, I told you that. Let's get the one that's under here. All right, because initiation, right? Spirit has been at your back, darling dears. Something that you had to overcome. You've overcome it. Remember, I told you that. Can't you see your sign sealed and delivered? Your scroll. This is a new beginning for you, darling dears. Absolutely fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Right, let's put that there. Let's see what the green cards are saying before we press on. Right? It was all God's plan. We don't need to know nothing more than that, darling dears, because when we make plans, God laughs, right? Mirror magic. I wasn't going to look again, but look, this is how they're trying to take you down. Remember, mirrors are portals. Always protect yourself. Right. Always protect yourself, darling dears. Black tourmaline or obsidian crystal next to your mirror, especially if your mirror is in front of your bed. I've already told you about that many times, what happened to me. Never gonna happen again. When I go to my bed at night time, I cover over my dressing table mirror because it's staring at my bed in 3D, because there's three sides to it, the middle and the 2 sides, all of them looking at me so they can F with me while I'm sleeping. Anyway, base of the deck, darling dears. Watchtower of the West, darling dears. Whatever's culminating in your life, you're going to see the finishing touches. And it could also speak about relocation. Fire energies moving forward. It's about being inspired, darling dears. I love it. I don't hate it. Okay. Let's get a deck. And then we'll press on at a hot trot. Base of the deck, darling dears. You've been making the right choices, the right investments. The Seven of Pentacles also speaks for some. You're waiting for the right partner. You're not going to allow yourself to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Again, this is a boss move. Somebody's out there leaning on a hoe, darling dears, as karma just pulled up on them. That's their business. Them have one pentacle to their name, darling dears, but yet they're paying attention to what you are creating for yourself. Even if they don't exactly know what you're creating for yourself, darling dears, they're still looking at your life as better than what they've got. Well, if they chose it for themselves, what can you do except give the people what they want, what they chose? Right, so I'm going to mix the deck. This one wanted to come out. Do we look at them or do we leave them? I'm going to put them back into the deck. I'm daring like that. Right, messages for the big cat. If it's on the floor, it's coming through the door. Where did it go? Picked it up. It was the King of Wands in reverse. This is a liar, darling dears. Someone who is deceitful. Maybe somebody who was once sexually involved with, darling dears. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. The King of Wands on his forehead, darling dears, is not fabulous, it's not gorgeous, and it sure as she's naive is not lovely. This person is extremely bold. They use their charm to get what they want. Remember, the King of Wands is somebody who is highly intuitive. But remember, whatever they're planning, it's going to fail because this is God's plan. Where do you come from? You come from your mother and your father, the ones you chose before you came to this Malkuf, darling dears. We've got 2 kings on the tableau, darling dears. It speaks about, if it was a situation you was involved in, darling dears, there was definitely violence in the situation. Maybe the police have been called. It could have led to a legal situation where you actually had to leave the situation, darling dears. For some, this is going to be the push that you need to leave a particular job or situation, darling dears. Yeah, because your happiness is on its way. Remember, I told you that. They want to know where you come from, but yet they're still judging you. Good golly, and the gosh. We've got 2 kings on the tableau, darling dears. When we see 2 kings, it speaks about your business partnerships being extremely fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Clarify the King of Wands, please. That's a lot of cards that turned over, but I'm going to take the top one. Knight of Swords, darling dears. You have some information coming towards you, but it also speaks on the King of Wands. You was in a relationship that broke your heart. It broke your soul, darling dears. It got you right in the what? Does it? Dark night of the soul, darling dears. I told you, the stroke makes me forget, but I go back online immediately. Yeah. Good golly and the gosh, darling dears. You have a message coming towards you very quickly. Let's pull it from the middle of the deck. See what the message is going to be about. Someone's going through hard times, blood. The money's funny, right? The money is funny. Remember, this is the same person that had you in this position, darling dears. If you've got children, they wanted your children to still be wearing the first baby shoes they ever got. They didn't expect their feet to get bigger. They thought they'd be wearing their first 3-month-old clothes, and they're in their teenage and early 20s. Yeah, this is someone that never helped out a situation, darling dears. But they didn't know that you was going to leave that situation, boss up on every bitch and mitch out there, darling dears, and get your happy. This is you putting the past behind you like a ponytail. The Sun card is the happiest card in the deck, darling dears. Yeah. People are talking, darling dears, because they can't see what you're doing with your life at this moment in time. They want to know. Chariot energy, the warrior spirit within you, darling dears, as you continue to move forward. Again, it's a reminder to listen to your intuition and your discernment, but you're definitely rushing towards some kind of success. And this is travel, darling dears. You have the whole world in your hands. You've got the whole world in your hands, darling dears. This is you making an assessment before you go on this journey, darling dears. Your back is turned on that temporary toxic situation, darling dears. Yeah, it's just pinned to the wall. It was never meant to stay, darling dears. And if that is for Tom, look how many branches are on there, blood. This is STD, VD, right? What's them other ones? HPV. I don't even know all of them. Every one of them is on this pole, right? Whether it's male or female. But this is you going towards something more stable, because this one is not pinned to the wall. This is firmly in the wall, darling dears. It's been put there for a reason and a purpose, and it's standing higher. This is a new beginning. You're standing on that, darling dears. And it also speaks about you standing on something that you said in a situation. When you isolated yourself, you probably possibly told them to go and do a double back flip into their mumma, right? Did you tell them to go and do a double back flip into their mumma? Okay then. All right. Best decision you ever made. And this is new opportunities coming towards you, and it could be love, darling dears. Could be love. All right. Give it another shufti. See what other messages come up, because you've been initiated into something, darling dears. Okay, everything has come full circle for you, as you can see from here. You went through the dark night of the soul. Had to look over my right shoulder because it's not creeping up on me again, blood. Hey. I went through the dark night of the soul, the real dark night of the soul, in 2018. And it took me another 4 years to get all of the toxicities and the wicked people out of my life. And my life has been free. You understand? I'm not around people that gossip, backstab, talk about you like you're nothing. When you was everything, darling dears, you came with good advice. You come into a situation with compassion, darling dears. But you was forgiving people that did not deserve to be forgiven. Right? What's this? All of these cards are jumping up on me. Because you got money, darling dears. Someone is very unhappy with the choices that you made, darling dears. They don't like it. They want you to lose everything that you've got. Displacement, darling dears. Yes. They know that God's been given to you, darling dears. And they want to find you in a situation where you're weak and vulnerable. Who could want to what? Upset the Queen of Pentacles. You know your worth and you've added tax. If you're a parent, you are a good parent, darling dears. But you have to also remember, being the Queen of Pentacles, you can give to your children, but don't give them your everything, darling dears. Save some things for yourself. Go on these little trips. Buy what you need for yourself. You can't give your child more, because that's what many of us fall into, the trap of wanting to give our kids more than what we had. And then we create what? Monsters, darling dears. Monsters. Right? And more often than not, they wouldn't cross the street to pee on you, darling dears. So this is about you taking care of yourself, darling dears. This is also you being focused on your finances. This is a new beginning coming towards you with your finances. I already told you some of you are going into a leadership position. This is going to be a union, one that God had a plan for. Remember, I told you that. Look what's just falling out on the Queen of Pentacles. And she fell on the floor, but she's still in the upright. Can you stand any more, Skrilla? Drop down and get your eagle on, darling dears. This is new opportunities. You're standing in front of a gateway, darling dears. This is a portal and opening something that's just for you. When we see the Two of Pentacles, excuse me, I'm scratching my nose, darling dears. Had to scratch my nose, and that's the meaning as well. Just like when you sneeze or belch when you're doing a reading, darling dears. It's the true that I'm telling you. This and that, darling dears. The Two of Pentacles, it's about choices. You're going to be multitasking going forward, darling dears. Why? Because you're going to be gifted with many options. Some of them you don't even see coming. Why? You've been focused on your own tableau, darling dears, your own table. You're not worried about things outside of yourself. But divine is about to give you what? The hand of God. This is a major blessing coming towards you. Next card. Can you stand any more Skrillas, darling dears? When I told you God is about to give unto you, and he's holding Libra, the scales. Libra is the 7th house, darling dears, your one-to-one relationships. This could speak about a marriage, a business partnership, but it also speaks about what? Open enemies. People hate your guts. And I told you, they hate your eyelashes. Why? Because they're attached to you, bestie. To you. All of this and that, darling dears. All they want is revenge, darling dears. Look what's underneath that. If you was married to them, it was a marriage of convenience. There was an opportunist, a gold digger, good golly and the gosh, darling dears. An Agent Smith affiliate, right? A hobosexual. Homosexuals, they fall in love at the drop of a hat, especially to get a gaff over them, darling dears. In the UK, a gaff is a home, a domicile, somewhere where the normal people live, darling dears. This person is a narc, and in some cases, they just wanted a green card. Good golly and the gosh, right? They want revenge. Seeks to what? Render an injury for what they perceive as a slight, something that you done, darling dears. They see it as a slight, okay? And they will do it by any means necessary, right? We're sending that energy straight back to the sender, darling dears. Divine child, be shielded by the by the ancestors. Give them the boomerang effect, reaping what they sowed. The spell they sent you, it is working on them. Return to sender, and underneath that, self-love, straight up to your face. We ain't allowing no one to spin off the block of, darling dears. Not on a big cat. Not at this stage of the game. All right, let's get another deck, and then we're going to finish this off. I'm going to use the tiny cards to come through with the true base of the deck. Judgment is afoot, darling dears. Somebody wants to come back, right? This person is a burden. They'll be coming back for whatever you've acquired for yourself. This is status. This is success guaranteed, darling dears. This person is stuck, darling dears, because they didn't know that you'd come back, what? Running the game? Where is that Queen of Pentacles? Look, it's at the top of the deck. You have a fated meeting, darling dears. Neptune energy, okay? Neptune energy. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The energy of Neptune is about it's about your mind, it's about illusions. It can also speak about deception, darling dears. Vindicated, okay? Somebody that is having a hard time letting go of you is going to watch you go into some kind of union, whether it's a business partnership. You don't see it coming, darling dears, but you are vibing on the same frequency. When you clear up karma in your life, you vibe on a different frequency, darling dears, and people that was once hidden to you will be revealed. They tried to keep you stuck, darling dears. Yeah, somebody that you was involved in, but it speaks about, when we see the Gemini energy, you've been making the right choices for yourself, and for some, you're going into this union, you're going to be going on, la 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 la, whoops. But this is the sneaky energy. Somebody that wants you to be caught up in your cranium, darling dears, worrying about where they are, what's going on with them, what they're going to do next. What's this? Yeah, don't worry about them. Focus on your bag. Focus on your health. Pentacles in the reverse. Oh, Pentacles all over is about your health. When it's in the upright, good health, right? But this card in the upright is a bad card. It speaks about being feeling left out in the cold, being left behind, darling dears. But in the reverse, your fortune is changing. Did we not just see all of the Skrilla on the table? Plus we had the hand of God giving you something, right? Over the Libra energy. Look, again we get the Page of Pentacles as we started the read, darling dears. Can we stand the Skrilla? I can stand the Skrilla, darlings. Beat me with the Skrilla, right? Upset me with the Skrilla. Yeah, I want to be upset. And what? At obstrepery with Skrilla, darling dears. Yes. You deserve this shiznai. Karma has pulled up, bestie. And never you forget that. Everybody has a price to pay, darling dears. Just like me. I did not want to go through any karma with Mars, Neptune and Pluto over the next 19 years. And I deliberately chose this particular trip, darling dears, to go and clear the karma. This is why I'm here where I am. This is why I am here right now, right? And listen, your charts is so, I can't impress on you how important they are. Your Astrocartography chart shows you where you can go in the world. You can plan your journey once you line up your birth natal chart and your Astrocartography chart. Once you line them up, you can go to your best places where you will have the relaxation you need, or whatever it is that you're trying to activate in your life. But because I wanted to face all of the karma of Mars, Pluto and Neptune and Venus, Again, a spiritual belt because I speaks the truth roof, darling dears. Anyway, we're out of here. Let's finish off big, darling dears. I'm gonna go with the wellness deck because I don't have all of my decks. Just enough, darling dears. But know this. Skrilla is on the way. Give it a good shifty. The number 25 has popped back up into my head again, darling dears. Okay. According to the 48 laws of power, the number 25 is about you recreating your identity, darling dears. Yes, create the identity that you want. If you want to change your name, change it. If you want to get your face done, do it. But don't do it till after April, darling dears. Not while Venus is being Skullduggerous. We just saw what? 444 on the tableau, darling, meaning that you're on the right path. You are exactly where you need to be at this moment in time, darling dears. All right. I think you're going to prefer me to speak to you like this. I'm going to set my camera up so it's like this when we go back to the UK. How about that? All of the cards are spinning round, but they're not falling out. They're falling out now, blood. That separation was a necessary separation. You're cutting out toxicity out of your life. And once we go forward, it's never backwards. In the words of Abraham Lincoln. Do what Eleanor Roosevelt said. Go so far you can't hear the critiques, darling dears. Okay, this also fell out. Why? Because you're the phoenix rising from the ashes, baby. As your Big Cat Chronicles continues. Yeah, whatever they come with, it's not today's Satan. Because they're wearing a mask. Yeah, they're coming to perform, darling dears. But no, you have the intellect. Remember, we had the chariot energy. Listen to your third eye, darling dears. And not everything that glitters is gold. Some of it is fresh. She's naive, shining in the sunlight. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon. My Teesprings is to pick up the channel merch. My Patreon is to watch my extended videos. Or if you'd like a personal read, tarot, numerology, astrology, any of your charts, your Astrocartography chart, synastry chart. I also do predictive charts, and I'm the baddest of them all. Trust and believe. I'm not just tooting my own horn, darling dears. If I did not believe in what I told you, and so many people's things have come true from the predictions that I've made for them, darling dears. If I did not believe in my work, I wouldn't put it out there. Why? My name means everything to me. Law number 5 of the 48 laws of power. My reputation is everything. On that note, I drops me mic, as I said, to love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat.